She was bullied. Every day she walked into school and was showered with millions of torments. People mocked her. She was attacked for being herself, for expressing who she was. She tried to stay true to her essence, tried to be who she really was, but that never seemed to be enough. She was constantly tormented, her every move criticized and made fun of. They hurt her, wounded her day after day, without ever even laying a hand on her. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, they told her. Wrong, she replied. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words are stronger. They hid her things. They called her names. Every fragment of the high self-esteem she had once possessed had been shattered, broken into millions of microscopic pieces, impossible to put back together. Worst of all, she did not have any friends. Or maybe she was just scared. Maybe she was scared because the people who hurt her the most had seemed like friends in the first place. So she trusted no one at school. She lived alone, dealt with her pain alone. Ladies and gentlemen, I have lied to you. She and her are the words I have used, but they are wrong. I, me, that is the correct, true version of it all. For it was I who suffered for extended periods of time, never finding ways in which to resolve it. It was I who spent countless break times in the coordinator's office, begging for her to just make it stop. It was all me. I think the worst part about being bullied isn't the suffering, the teasing, the slaps in the face, both literal and figurative. I think the worst part is getting over it. The scars always seem to creep their way back up to the surface once more. The pain edges its way back into our lives. Every moment of despair reminds you of those days, all of them seeming to be mere repercussions of the bullying. Even though I am much happier here in my new school, I can still feel the consequences of what happened. Whilst racking my brain in hopes of finding some way to get all of these ideas, this pain onto paper, I came across something that really got me thinking. Did I ever really get over it? Did I fully accept what happened and how it impacted who I am today? I was caught off guard. In reality, I had no idea what I was supposed to say. Did I? Is this what closure felt like? Was this what being over it was supposed to mean? I thought about it long and hard. I'm not certain that I can give you an answer at this point, but I can tell you one thing. I am better, scarred, but better. I owe this conclusion in part to those who helped me put this all together. Initially, my response was that I wasn't happier, that I didn't get over it. But with time, I realized that the very act of getting onto the stage today meant that I was better. And now what? After all of this, what happens? We, the warriors, the survivors, the brave ones, are left here with these scars, these wounds that penetrate deep into our souls and leave behind traces of their passing. What for? To pick up the pieces of what used to be? We are lost because we know that no matter how bad it was, how much it hurt, how courageously we fought, how long we persevered for, it could all get worse. What if it all comes back? I lived in fear. I surrendered to pain. I am not alone, though. According to StopBullying.gov, 28% of U.S. children in grades 6 to 12 have been in my position, and 30% of young people admit to bullying others. As is my case, and that of many others, bullies often pick on the kids that they perceive as different, those who are too tall, too small, too fat, too skinny, too smart, too perfect, those who are just too much to handle. Most of us who have been bullied can usually agree that we were not ones to fit in. Each person deals with bullying in their own way. Today, I would like to exemplify different ways in which different people deal with bullying and how I sealed my life back together, sealed up my scars, sewed my life back together. Sometimes, some of us end up feeling the need to change who we are to suit another person's view of perfection, of what is normal or socially acceptable. We feel obliged to change whatever it is that stands out about us, obliged to morph into just another person in the crowd. Take it from someone who has been there and done that. Trying to fulfill others' expectations of you only takes away from your own true self. We're all different and unique in our own ways. We're not entitled to feel above other people. We cannot let our hijabs, our presidents, our income, our weight, our appearance, our lovers, our given and chosen gender, or any other traits define our discernment of others in our worldwide community. Other people feel the need to pass on their pain to somebody else. These so-called bully victims have had various studies regarding them have been conducted. In fact, it has been proven that of all the people involved in the elaborate scheme of bullying, they are the most at risk for mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. But the truth is that before you do something like this, pass your pain on to somebody else, you should take a moment to think, do I really want somebody else to go through all of that? The sleepless nights spent crying into the pillow, the days of loneliness. Do I want another living, breathing human being to feel that same pain that I felt? No. At least I did not. I don't think that anybody who has ever been through all of that would want someone else to feel that way. Lastly, I would like to exemplify the saddest, most disappointing way in which people cope, or should I say, fail to cope. It doesn't bring closure, it opens new wounds. A word we hear so often nowadays. According to a study by Yale University, victims of bullying are between 2 and 9 times more likely to commit suicide. Bullying is eating away at our society. Kids are dying by self-inflicted gunshots, by their own doing. Even with all of these points and more, serving as proof, many people still fail to recognize how big of an impact bullying has on our lives. In my opinion, I'm not going to end bullying in a TED Talk. Those were never my intentions. All I want to do is raise awareness towards a cause that has had a great impact on my childhood and overall personality. And yes, I am aware that many people argue that bullying is an overused topic. In my opinion, if the platform were as big as it needed to be, I would not be standing here today, because bullying would no longer be an issue, yet here I am. So, in order to prove just how big of an impact bullying can have on our lives, I would like to conduct an experiment of sorts, and I invite you all to take part. So, I would like you to stand up if you have ever been bullied. You are not alone. Thank you. You can sit down. I would like you to stand up if you have ever suffered racial or cultural discrimination. You can sit down. Thank you. I would like you to stand up if you have ever lived in another country. You can sit down. I would like you to stand up if you have ever played Pokemon Go. You can sit down. And lastly, I would like you to stand up if your favorite food is pizza. You can sit down. Ladies and gentlemen, you are probably wondering what on earth is going on and how any of these statements are at all related. Well, the truth is, these are all differences that we may share, however foolish or uninteresting they may seem. I would like you to reflect upon something with me, but first I must ask you one final question. Please stand up and stay standing if you are different. Take a look around. If we are all different, is that not a similarity that we can all share? Would it not be correct to assume that because we are different, we all have something in common? Aren't our differences supposed to unite us rather than tear us apart? Aren't our differences our greatest similarity? Thank you. Thank you.